Well, it's Friday the 13th, and my bad luck is that I had to see this movie before the new Lord of the Rings movie. Yeah, both these movies come out this weekend. I had to see this first. Stupid Friday the 13th bad luck. Kraven the Hunter. That's how it should be, but instead it's more like Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven the Hunter is the sixth and I guess final film in Sony's Spider-Man-less Spider-Man universe. You know, they're films based off of Spider-Man villains like Venom, Madam Web, and Morbius. You know, those classic films that everyone's gonna remember. So now we have Kraven the Hunter. This movie was delayed by like over a year. Those Sony and their faith. Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain that fans have loved for decades, and they've always wanted to see him in a live-action movie, as the villain in a Spider-Man movie, that is. Well, we haven't had that yet, but now we have a solo origin story-ish type movie about Kraven the Hunter starring Aaron Taylor Johnson of all people. Not who I would have cast, but alright. It starts out Sergei Kravenov and his brother Dmitri. They're kind of under the bootleg of their father Nikolai, and their family is all about hunting. Fast forward 16 years, Sergei Kravenov is now either known as Kraven or the Hunter, but never Kraven the Hunter. That's weird. Yeah, that's a real thing in the movie actually. They never call him Kraven the Hunter. It's either Kraven or the Hunter. Not even at the end when he's Kraven the Hunter. But anyway, his brother Dmitri has been kidnapped by Alexei Sitsevich, aka the Rhino, so now Kraven has to enlist the help of a lawyer named Calypso who he shares a past with, kinda sorta, to get his brother back. Alright, where to begin with this thing, huh? Well, I guess I better start off the way I always do, with the characters. Alright, Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter. Not only is he not who I would have cast as him, but this movie kinda made me realize that he's never really impressed me as an actor. I mean, I've seen him in quite a few movies now, and he's always been that kind of stoic guy who can throw down when he needs to, and he's just kind of boring. To be fair though, he's not the worst thing about this movie. He's bad for sure. Not his fault, because the writing, the whole script of this movie is atrocious. I'll get to that later. But let's just talk about Ariana DeBose, who plays Calypso in this movie. Alright, you know I'm a fan of hers at this point. She is an Academy Award winning actress. She won that Oscar for Best Supporting Actress from West Side Story. I have seen what she's capable of, and you can see her. She is not giving it her all in this movie, and I don't even blame her. You see her spatting out these shitty lines, and you're just like, oh my god. My heart really broke watching her in this movie, I swear. There's even one scene where I could tell she was trying not to laugh. And I kind of get what she's trying to do. She's trying to branch off from musicals and try different genres. Kind of sort of like her West Side Story co-star Rachel Zegler tried doing. But I hate to say, for Miss DeBose, it's not really working out. At least not yet. Although again, this is not her fault, it's the scripts. Russell Crowe plays Nikolai, who is Kraven and Dimitri's father, which is actually kind of funny when you think about the whole Marvel multiverse thing, because they have Zeus and Quicksilver. I just think that's kind of funny. But anyway, Father of the Year right here, oh my god, yeah, he's a dick. He is, and yeah, that is kind of part of Kraven's lore from what I know, which isn't a whole lot, I admit, but you can tell that Russell Crowe was phoning it in as well. And then there's the Rhino, this dude. Talk about bad. I mean, not only was his acting kind of laughable, I don't really know this guy from anything else he's been in. There was a point where something happened with him, the audience around me actually did snicker a little bit, including me. But just his whole like motivation behind what he's doing, it didn't make any sense to me. I hated it. I was like, really? That's the reason you're just holding a grudge against Russell Crowe in this movie? Come on. Because he said something mean to you once 16 years ago? I'm not lying about this. Yeah, that's just lame. And when he is the Rhino finally at the end of the movie, I'll admit when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, you know what? I can actually get behind that design. I actually kind of liked it. He looks more like the Rhino than Paul Giamatti's mechanized suit from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Maybe this could be cool. But no, man, like when you actually see it in this movie, if you decide to go see it, which you won't, so forget it. But seeing it in this movie, I was like, nah, that looks stupid too. It's a bummer because I really like the concept of the Rhino character himself. He's pretty much just another version of the Incredible Hulk with a rhino horn on his head. How is that not really cool? But yeah, man, this let me down. Speaking of letdowns, let's get to the script. Cause like I said, it's pretty shit. Par for the course for Sony's Spider-Man universe. This definitely feels like a movie from that franchise for a few reasons. One, whenever it came to like character development, it was just boring to me. The whole family dynamic between Kraven and his brother and their father. I was like, yeah, you're all just kind of assholes. So why should I really care? I didn't care about anyone in this movie, therefore I was really bored pretty fast. So there went any emotional attachment I could have had to this movie. Out the window, just like this franchise. Bye-bye. And if the dialogue scenes weren't boring, they were laughable. Oh my god, there's one scene between Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ariana DeBose where these lines are coming out of their mouths and I was like, this is as bad as it gets. They had to deliver these really cheesy, corny-ass lines with all the seriousness of a serious scene. I was watching this in my movie theater seat going, yeah, this is the same franchise that includes Morbius and Madam Web. Yeah, it ain't good. The CGI in this movie isn't good either. This being Kraven the Hunter, there are gonna be animals like lions and leopards and even a bear at one point. And they're all CG, none of them look look good. They look worse than The Lion King, which I'll say, yeah, The Lion King, like those live action ones, they do look really good. That is to say, they set the standard for CG animals in movies. The CG animals in this movie did not meet those standards. Pretty far below them. All right, not that far below, but enough to see that, yeah, they're shit. The action scenes in this movie are entertaining enough. It is rated R. It's like Sony realized too late. They were like, oh, wait a minute, those Deadpool movies, they're rated R, but they make money. Maybe we should have done that with Venom all along. Oh, well, we can do that with Kraven the Hunter, right? Sweet, let's do it. Yeah, that's not gonna help this movie's case. I mean, Kraven's running on walls and you're like, what? If I could let my Spider-Man fan flag fly for a second, when Kraven's throwing down doing his thing, I was like, this doesn't feel like Kraven the Hunter, and alright, here comes the inevitable comparison to the Kraven the Hunter we got in Spider-Man 2, the video game for PS5 last year, because that Kraven was exactly what we wanted to see from Kraven for all these years. He doesn't have superpowers. I imagine that there have been versions of Kraven in Marvel lore over the past 85 years who have had superpowers like this, but I just prefer one who doesn't. He's reached peak physical form, kind of like Batman. He's just trained himself to be the best hunter on the planet without the help of superpowers. He doesn't need them. He's just that good. This version of Kraven the Hunter is completely lame by comparison. Couldn't help but compare like content to like content when watching the action scenes in this movie. So if you want awesome action with Kraven the Hunter, play Spider-Man 2 on PS5. Don't have a PS5? Well, the game will eventually be on Steam. Play it on your PC. Your PC can't take it? Well, that is just too damn bad. Even the musical score in this movie couldn't save it. And Benjamin Wallfisch worked on it. You know I love that guy. But there are these Russian vocals, and I get it. Kraven and his family, they're from Russia. But at a point in the music, I was like, why are these vocals happening exactly? Just to remind us of his Russian heritage? I don't get it. It sounded neat, but I didn't understand the whole thing. So in the end, Kraven the Hunter, it happened. You're not gonna see it anyway, so I'll just break it down for you like this. It is up there with Madam Web and Morbius in the category of wasted potential. Cause again, Kraven the Hunter, people love this character for a reason. A solo story, even an origin story about him could have been awesome. But Sony Pictures in true Sony Pictures fashion went about it all the wrong way, cause they just don't get it. It really does feel like they just throw these movies together, call them Spider-Man-ish movies, and think that that is enough to be successful, and it's not. And again, since I guess this is the final film in this franchise, there's really no point in seeing this movie anyway, since it's not leading to anything, you know? So for that reason, for Kraven the Hunter, I will say, don't go see this movie. Don't waste your time. Yeah, no musical rating. This movie doesn't deserve one. My final thoughts on this failed Sony Spider-Man universe, they should have known from the get-go that it wasn't going to be successful because the one thing that really ties all these characters together is the one thing that is missing from it. But that being said, I still believe that stories about these characters without Spider-Man could have been really cool because they're characters that are really popular and have been for decades because they're characters who are really cool. I mean, Venom, Madam Web, Morbius the Living Vampire, Kraven the Hunter. These characters are awesome. Maybe Spider-Man is what makes them awesome? I don't know about that, honestly. But in that, it all just comes down to the writing. All of these movies could have had much better writing. And truth be told, I don't want to discourage Sony from trying this again someday, but just get better writers on this shit. That's all I ask. And maybe do some research into Marvel lore as well. That would help. Alright, so Kraven the Hunter, have you not seen it? What did you not think about it? Let's just be honest here. Or what are your favorite and least favorite movies from this Sony Spider-Man universe franchise? That might be a good question, so whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm seeing Wicked, the show, at the Pantages tonight. It's gonna be my third time seeing it. That's gonna be awesome. Peace!